Okay, I see this question get asked a lot. What should I charge per square foot? I see it in residential services. I see it in construction cleaning. I see it in office cleaning and all kinds of things. And I remember seeing a post. Somebody made this comment, which really resonated with me, which was not knowing how to accurately bid before starting your business is like somebody opening a restaurant and asking someone, how do you cook? And for some reason, that just resonated with me and it struck a chord. And I thought that I would create this video to show why bidding by the square foot alone is not the best way to build your company. I've been in the business 25 years. I've built several cleaning businesses from scratch. I'm also the co-founder of this software. And I want to show you in one of our tools why bidding by the square foot will never get you to be the company that you want to be. You can stay the company you are, or you can bid like the company you want to be. Now, stay with me here. I'm going to go ahead and create a proposal. I'm going to select an existing prospect in my demo account here, and I'm going to add a proposal to this address. Let's go ahead and name it. Let's call it bidding by square feet. And I'm going to choose commercial here, and I'm going to go down to office cleaning because that's probably one of the more frequent ones I see, that and construction cleaning. And we're going to say 5 days a week. Okay, so the software lays everything out that you need into 4 simple steps. This is where you build your areas and your general cleaning tasks in here. I'm not going to spend any time on this. And this is for your special projects where you can add things like carpet cleaning, window cleaning, deep cleaning, day porter services, hard floor, stripping and waxing, things like that. But what you're really here for is the calculator. So we have 2 options here. You can use our price estimator where you can go in here, enter in some cleanable square footage and how difficult it is and whether or not it's primarily hard floors or carpet. You can go over here, see whether or not you use employees, enter some basic information. And what I like to use this tool for is to get a production rate. Even though it spits out a price, I just like the production rate here. And then I go back into the do-it-yourself calculator. And this is where I think all the education happens. And this is what I think you truly need to understand. So first of all, I always teach people to never bid like the company you are. Always bid like the company you want to be. In bigger, more established organizations, they bid like this, or at least they have some of the cost accounted for. And it's not just by square footage. And I'm going to show you why. If you stick with me to the end here, I'm going to show you why I don't believe bidding by the square footage is accurate. I believe it's a great tool, but I believe it's wrong. So right here, you can go ahead and enter in your payroll taxes. And I tell people, even if you don't have employees, bid like you have employees, because you will never be able to hire employees if you're not used to being able to bid contracts as if you have them, right? So I'm going to go ahead and close this and just put some numbers in there. And I'm going to go down here. The reason why you never want to bid by the square footage is going to be really apparent in just a moment. So let's say in this particular contract, you've got one person that is making $18 an hour, and I believe it was 7.5 hours, something like that, per night, working 5 days per week. Now, part of the process of bidding like the company you want to be instead of the company you are is that you have to account for all your cost in here to really understand your true cost of clean, and then to be able to mark that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 other forms of labor here. And this is what I do for every contract that I have. And then I add different labor for other things too. But what I'm going to have is trainers. And let's say I've got one person that we pay $25 an hour. And the way we train at our company is that we train for 3 days. Okay. So the first day they watch us. The second day we watch them. And then the third day we cut them loose and we check on them near the end of the shift to make sure they got everything done. And the reason why we do the first day where they watch us is because we make them sign a form at the end saying that everything within this scope of services or everything in this cleaning checklist, not only do they know it can be done, but it can be done in the time frame in which we've allotted. Because a few months down the road, you get employees that start to get lazy and, oh, we don't have enough time and things have changed. And we're like, nah, remember, you watched us clean and we watched you clean and you did everything in this list and signed this piece of paper saying that you can get it all done. So it kind of eliminates the excuses. And the way that our trainers train it on the 3 days, so it's what, 7.5 hours, let's just say 8 times 2, 16, and then we'll do half of the other one. So we'll just say about 20 hours. And I include 2 trainings per year. Now, some contracts that are bigger and we have a bunch of employees, I increase this. And the reason that we also include trainers here is because your true cost of clean needs to account for how expensive your turnover is. And if you're bidding like the company you want to be, you're going to have trainers within your organization that you send out to these accounts to train your new hires. And you need to be able to account for some of that cost during the bid. The other thing that we'll add is inspectors, right? So we want to have quality control inspectors because we inspect what we expect. And you also can't manage what you can't measure. So you need to keep your quality index high. And I have a minimum of 1 hour a month for every account, no matter what. So we'll say one day per month, and we'll save that. Now, the software here at Clean Proposals, it will break down your labor cost per clean. So every time you send somebody in to clean this building and they work 7.5 hours and you're paying them this, it's going to cost you $178.20. And it gives you your annual labor costs, and then it also gives you your monthly labor here. Now, if you go down here, it says janitorial labor cost 3. That is going to be these 3 labor types subtotaled here. So in order to work 5 days a week at this account, you're going to have to spend $4,004 even. That's what your cost is for your labor, okay? Then you're going to have to add in additional expenses like cleaning supplies. Unless you're cleaning with air, you're going to have cleaning supplies. So let's say you think it's going to be $75 a month for that. I always include a tech fee. And when I'm closing with customers, I actually show them the software a lot just so they can see the structure of the bid. And they always ask what a tech fee is, probably the same thing that you're asking. And to have a true understanding of what it takes to build a successful company, you really have to charge all of the things that cost you. So for example, the quality control software we use, they charge $25 per month as an onboarding fee for a new customer. Or you can make this even more and account for the things like this software. You know, if you're using QuickBooks or any other type of accounting software, all of that is going to cost you money. And so you need to be able to pass that cost on to your customer, just like your customer is passing on expenses to their customers. Then you can add anything else in here like drive time or fuel, cell phone reimbursements, whatever it is, okay? Then you would add that there. So now if you go down here and you look at your subtotal, that is going to be a combination of all your labor, all your additional expenses, and this is what it's going to cost you to do that. Now stay with me here. I'm gonna get to why bidding by the square footage is inaccurate if you're not already seeing that. The power in this calculator is just breathtaking, okay? So you need to know what kind of profit margin that you're going to be operating at. You know, some people operate at 30%, 45%. I've seen people as low as 10%. And that may be good for very large buildings, but I don't suggest that you ever do that. We typically bid between 30 and 35 cents a square, or excuse me, 35%, 30 to 35%. So I'm just going to put in 35% here. And the software is going to tell you if you have a 35% profit margin, you're going to be making $2,236.77 on this particular client per month. Now, this is your gross operating margin, okay? This is where you buy your fleet vehicles, you know, advertising, you pay yourself out of it. So there's a lot that comes out of this number, and it's really important. And this is going to be a monthly charge to your client. Okay. And if you live in a state where you have to charge sales tax on your service, you can just click this button here, and then you can add your sales tax and it will recalculate what you're going to be charging to your customer. Now, here's why bidding by the square footage alone is extremely inaccurate. If you play with this calculator, you're really going to understand why it's important to stay away from that as your only form of bidding. Now, before I enter that here, actually, let me just go ahead and do this. So if you know the cleanable square footage, the software is then going to break down what you're charging per square foot. Now, if I told you here, let's just ramp this up here a little bit and see if I can get closer. Let's say 20,000 square feet. What does that look like? Okay, perfect. Now, if you were asking me, hey, Rossi, what should I charge per square foot? And I told you, hey, charge 32 cents a square foot. The only thing you would know is this number. You have no idea, no clue whatsoever what your profit margin is, what your gross operating revenue margin is. You have no idea how many people you can hire, what you can pay them, and how many hours you're paying them. You don't know your cost per clean, your annual labor costs, and your monthly costs. You don't know any of that. You have no clue. So bidding by the square footage alone is not a way to truly grow and understand your company. But I'm not done yet. Let me show you the power also behind this. Let's say you're looking at this and you go, you know what? I don't think that's enough. I think I can make, $3,000 on this customer. You can type that in here and the software will reverse engineer your profit margin and tell you what that is. It will give you a new charge to your customer and it readjusts your cleanable square footage. But I'm still not done. Let's say you've got somebody that's working with you and they go, hey, Rossi, I really want to work with you. You nailed the walkthrough. I really appreciate that. Your proposal's professional. But I've got a solid budget of $6,200. There's just nothing I can do about that. I'm sorry. Well, the power behind this is that you can go in here and type in 6,200 and the software will reverse engineer everything again. It shows you your profit margin and percentage. It shows you your dollar amount that you'd be making, and it reverse engineers what you're going to be doing on your square footage. But I'm still not done. If you want to just come in here and readjust it again and go, I wonder what that would be like if I'm charging 35 cents a square foot. Again, everything will be readjusted and you can start to play with your numbers. You can add more expenses. You can come up here and say, okay, what if I'm paying $18.50 an hour? And then you can add more labor, whatever it is, you can actually understand your true cost of clean. So I want to teach you how to fish. I don't want to just give you a fish. I want you to truly understand how you can grow your revenue in a way that makes sense and you're not just guessing anymore. This works really good for some commoditized portions of our industry like stripping and waxing floors, maybe carpet cleaning. I can understand that. But when you get into house cleaning and construction cleaning and office bidding, you really need a tool to be able to play with all of your true cost so that you can bid like the company you want to be instead of bidding like the company you are.